What is the domino effect? It's a term I use to describe what happens once your body has experienced trauma in the past. Hi, I'm Rodger Duckworth, and for the past 30 years, I've been working with people on the edge of despair from their chronic health, illnesses and conditions. And I help them not only manage, but feel passionately about healing and helping them overcome those issues. The domino effect. When our body experiences trauma, it has to cope. And the effect and the ways in which it does that in the physiology can happen very, very fast, because usually trauma happens very fast. And so what has to happen is a very fast adaptation to that and a coping strategy to that experience. And so when we're working to correct that and to work with the patterns that then lead to disease, but if we could catch the first domino to topple, it wants to go really, really fast, and you can't catch that. And in fact, this is one of the reasons that actually, I've seen this many times, unfortunately, in my clinic, that people sometimes they'll go and see the psychiatrist or whatever and say, well, I need to know the entire story, and you must tell me, and they've come back worse from that appointment. And I'm like, what on earth has happened? You were doing so well. And they go, because in telling that story too fast, it was too much. And it wasn't titrated enough. And so they re-traumatized them, because if you just knock that first domino over and all you're interested in is hearing about the story, then all that's going to happen is you're going to re-traumatize that person. But what if we could go slow motion on a video? What if we could notice the first domino toppling and it has not really got to the second one? And what if we could navigate that in such a way that when we could stop that or we could re-divert it? Then we would stop the end result. And this is neuroplasticity. This is how we work with trauma. And this is how we work with healing. What does that look like? I'm talking about dominoes. You don't have dominoes in your body, but what you have is sensations. And often I'm working with what I call the before, the before, the before. So sometimes if I'm working with chronic migraines, we'll go, what's the first sensation you experience as you talk about the event? That's interesting. I'm noticing that I've got a sensation in my belly or a sensation between my shoulder blades. And then if I allow that to go, then I start to notice some tension build in my shoulders. And then it ends up in my head. Right. What if we could start to catch that sensation there where it starts in the belly or between the shoulder blades, and we go, right, okay, so that narrative or that story that you're telling me that's been stressful or is difficult or what have you is starting to have an impact on your body. It's overwhelming it, and your body's putting some kind of freeze pattern in there, or it's doing some kind of having some impact in your body. If we could catch that and go, okay, can we pause there? And then we help the person to find ways to be with that experience and to renegotiate what the body does with it, so it doesn't go to the neck and the head. Now, that's why I think the domino effect is a nice analogy, and it seems to work for my patients anyway. So often we're looking at the before, the before, the before. And so often with things like jaw pain, migraines, anxiety, even internal problems, we want to know and see the sequence of events that happen within your physiology and how your body has learned to do something. And working with that is a really important part of the solution to healing from chronic illness.